Okay, let's choose up. I'll take Jamal and Two-Tone. You can have Chubbs and Skippy. Let's go. My ball.
Okay. But you got skins.
Not a good negotiator? You don't have to be a good negotiator at McCarthy Chevrolet. McCarthy guarantees the lowest prices on a new Chevy or we'll pay you $10,000. We guarantee there's no need to shop anyplace else. McCarthy Chevrolet, I-35 and Santa Fe, Olathe.
Firecracker 500 in 2 weeks, John. Thunderlake Speedway. Would this be your biggest event of the year?
This will be our biggest event, and we hope it's the start of many things to come for Thunder Lake and building this race. As a July special around the July 4th weekend. Hopefully, my son named it. He named it the Firecracker 500. We threw the 500 in because all the classes were going to pay 500. As you can see, we've got some of those up. From up to 750 and 1,000 to win, and as a little more enticement to bring some of the touring guys in and race with us. It's a tremendous opportunity for families to get involved, but I couldn't do this race without a lot of sponsors. And will you guys allow me a moment just to rattle down through there?
Sure.
I got them all listed down here. YRC Freight, American Barbecue Systems. They build competition competition smokers out of Olathe, Kansas. Diagnostic Imaging, AAA Lawnmower Lansing Chiropractic, John Iden Supplies, Zek Ford, Scott Racing Engines, Fairfield Motorsports, Russell Karting. Those are three, kart shops that support our local racing here in Kansas City. For anybody wanting to get involved, it's much like you got a huge chassis, a side biter, a skyrocket. Karting's the exact same way. We have Phantoms, we have Epics, we have Millennium. Every kart shop is a dealer, and so every brand of chassis, is a top notch, piece of equipment. Most of them are robotic welded. A lot of technology, a lot of engineering going into those. We also have Powell Roofing, Larkin Excavating, Mill Lawn Service, Seaberg Muffers. Clyde Ellis over there and his staff continue to support local racing, and they're supporting Thunderlake Speedway. We can't say thanks enough to those guys, Terry and Dave over there. Lakeside Speedway, Ussery Body Shop, Christie's Tasty Queen, familiar mainstay, R&L Racing. A lot of our karters, they want to support the racing, and the owners of those teams, chip in. Larry and Rita, thank you very much at R&L. River's Edge, Brissett's Price Chopper out of Platte City. Vance Motorsports has chipped in. The RacinBoys. River Valley Ag, and our last sponsor we just picked up this week is the Kansas Speedway.
How about that?
Jumping in to help us out. And then I got a couple racers that are racing that hopefully either we can call them or they can call in.
We might have. Let's check the phone right now. Hello.
Hello. How you doing?
Who we have with us?
This is Brian Andrews.
Hi, Brian. Hey. Thanks for joining. You know who Brian Andrews is.
I do. Brian's one of our stock drivers in his early 20s. Scott, I'll tell you a real quick story about Brian.
Sure.
Brian caught my eye because he's really fast, really smooth racer. Out there, I see this kid. He gets out of his car. He's really soft-spoken. He doesn't say much, but he lets all of his actions speak out there. He reminds me of one of my best competitors in Jeff Clem.
I was going to say, I bet you're going down the Jeff Clem road.
Man,
right
I'm telling you,
yeah.
and he does. He epitomizes what how Jeff raced. He's like I said, he's soft-spoken, just a small guy, and
big right foot though.
A big right foot, and knows how to get it done when he's on the track.
All right, Brian, that's a lot of pressure. How do you feel like you're compared to Jeff Clem?
What's that?
How do you feel about being compared to Jeff Clem?
Does he even know who Jeff Clem is? Do you know who Jeff Clem is?
I've heard the name, but I don't know him. Never heard too much about him.
Well, let me tell you,
one of the great late model drivers of our time around Kansas City.
Jeff won a lot of races and is just as hardworking, classy individuals you'll ever meet, and it's a nice compliment.
Huge compliment.
All right, tell us about your car and how your season has gone here, Brian.
Well, the season's going pretty good. I have a 2012 Infiniti Helix, and Fairfield Motorsports helps me out a lot. I drive for them, and I drive one of his personal cars sometimes.
Now, Fairfield Motorsports, that's Stephen and Larry Fairfield right here in Independence, Missouri. And for, as I said earlier, you got several kart shops throughout the metropolitan area. You got Scott Racing out in the western Kansas Baser area, and in fact, he's neighbors with Tim Carrick. And then you got Fairfield Motorsports right here in Independence, and you said you drive for them in their house cart?
Yeah, sometimes.
Okay.
They're over on
like
24 Highway, I think, aren't they?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's important that any upstart racer knows that the kart shops are there to help you. They will take you through every step of the kart buying process, setting them up. They are at the track. They do support the racers when they're at the track. They're only feet away from all the technical advice that an upstart mom or dad or grandparent is going to need to be able to get their kids started. The way we've set up the racing with our entry-level divisions, we've got a rookie division and a junior division that will allow a novice-type driver to come out and experience, instead of throwing them right to the wolves, what we're going to do is allow them to, learn how to drive before we move them on into the proper class. And I think what Brian's, talking about with driving for them just shows, and Brian, I don't know how long you've been racing, but from what I understand, many years.
Yeah, about 7, 8 seasons now altogether.
Yeah, and that's and have you been associated with Fairfield that entire time, or?
Yes, the whole time. Yes.
See, and you build those relationships, and there you go. There's one of my front running, competitors out there in the stock light, stock medium division, and he's locked in with the same kart shop for many years. That just kind of shows you what kind of support that they're going to be able to get when they do go meet with Larry or Steven or with Dennis Scott out at Scott Racing. It just speaks volumes for what karting does. Have you ever had any aspirations to move on to any other form of racing?
I have. I mean, it's pretty expensive. In go-karting, I can handle pretty good in go-karting. But yeah, I've had inspiration to move on, but I race for pretty big money in go-karts, so I like go-karts a lot. So.
Talk about the family aspect, Brian, and how much support you get with them, and the time you spend with your family. How big's that for you?
Yeah, it's big. If it wasn't for my mom, I really probably wouldn't be racing, because when I was younger, she used to take me to races by herself, and she would never let me give up. And I just stayed in it, and here I am.
How big would it be for you to win this big race coming up here in a couple of weeks on July 7th? Firecracker 500 would be big on your resume, would it not?
It would be big. So I'll be racing 3 classes, one for the $1,000 and the heavies, and the other one for $750 to win. And then you get $100 if you set pole in both. So it'd be pretty nice to win, yeah.
What would it be like if you won all 3 of them? You'd come out of there with a real big payday, wouldn't you?
Yeah, that'd be nice. It would be a nice payday. As long as we put on the right set of tires, I think we'll be all right and start up front.
You really think you can pull that off?
I hope. I think we got a good shot.
Well, I tell you what, it wouldn't surprise me, Brian, to see you in victory lane. Now, I also know that one of the important aspects of karting is the team aspect. And you do have an understudy that you're tutoring in racing, mentoring him. I believe his name is Trevor Hand.
Yes.
Trevor, young guy, and I know Trevor, I'm kind of playing coy here, but Trevor's one of our standout Junior 1 racers. He races both lights and heavies, and that's just all done by weight, Kurt. We have lights because some of the kids are smaller in stature, and they can't add all that weight, and then some kids are a little bit larger, and you want them to be properly, have a proper chance or the equal chance at being competitive and having a shot at winning. So we do that based on weight, and I don't know, is Trevor close by?
He is. You guys want to talk to him?
Sure, put him on.
Okay, here he is.
Trevor Hand, I love that name. That's a great racing name.
11 years old.
Trevor.
Hello?
Hi, Trevor.
Hi.
How old are you?
I'm 11. I just turned 11 June 5th.
How about that? How many races you won?
This year for the whole season. Well, for all
Your whole
season.
career. You won so many, you've lost track.
He's had to take his shoes off. He's counting.
Well, I know it's over 30.
30 wins, and you just turned 11.
Yeah.
Man, oh man! How'd you? Is this something you always wanted to do? is race? I mean, as long as you can remember?
Well, when I started wanting to do it when my dad started racing, and then he got me a kart, and then started off from there.
Well, I tell you what, if anybody's to come out to Thunderlake Speedway and watch, he drives a red number 36. Him and Brian both share red karts with the same number, and you'll see him because he's generally up front, leading the way. He's one of our young lions that's going to progress up through the ranks. You'll continue to hear the name for many years to come, and eventually we'll see him trying to fill the shoes of a young Trevor Hunt. Eventually, someday, I believe that in my heart.
Wow, that'd be great.
That would be
it's pretty good company when you get mentioned in the name of Trevor Hunt. So that's pretty good stuff right there.
Yep. This kid, it's funny when we go to the racetrack, and it's all about having fun. And all of our young racers are friends. On the track they're competitors, but off the track they're making mud pies and playing catch with a football, riding a skateboard. It's just a big family atmosphere. They're friends off the track, and they're, like I said, they're fiercest rivals on the track. It reminds me of me and my best friend when I was growing up, Aaron Daniel. And I've always said that he was the one person that I hated to race because there was that friend aspect. And he would race me.
You guys were pretty tight, right?
Oh, yes. And he would race me 10 times different than he would anybody else. And because that competitive, I got to beat you type mentality, it was always a challenge because I looked up to him. He was 2 years older than I was, so I'd always try to give him a lot more room than he was giving me. And he'll never admit to that, but I can tell you that's the way I felt.
Yeah.
So,
Well, before we get out of here, let's.
Well, Trevor, thanks a lot.
Quickly.
I appreciate you joining us, Trevor. Thank you. Good luck. So can they see you race before 2 weeks? You can race tonight?
Yeah, I'm going to race tonight.
All right.
Say, come on now.
Get out there. He's the big draw out at Thunderlake Speedway. Trevor, we appreciate you joining us this morning. Good luck tonight.
Thanks.
Congratulations.
Thanks, Trevor.
All right.
Thank you, buddy. Thank
Trevor
you, Brian Andrews.
July 7th, John. Is that right?
That is July 7th. General admission is just $5. Children under 6 are free. We got kind of like the cars can park over in turns 3 and 4. You back right up to the track. We have a full concession stand. If you don't want to cook out or bring your own food, you're more than welcome to go over to the concession stand. Pit passes are $15. What that does, that allows you anytime, because of insurance reasons, anytime you go into a hot pit, you have to have, a full insurance, and that does encompass a $15, much like any other track. Explaining that to some people, it's different. Well, we just want to come in and look at the cars. Well, I'm sorry, but anytime I have anything motorized, because of the limitations of insurance, you as well know that. That July race, the gates are going to open at 9 a.m. Sign in pre-tech will kick off about 2, hot laps at 4, and we'll start qualifying around 5 o'clock, and races to follow after that. We got some really cool trophies, Scott. I've personally building 4 trophies for the 4 main winners of these races, and the kids
You're building them yourself, huh?
Building them myself, and with the help of a friend. I'm taking some inspiration from a trophy that I'd won way back in the day when I was Trevor's age. I was 11 years old when I won this trophy. Not too many people know about it, but I told my dad, I was like, can you help me out and get me all the measurements from that, because I want to do something, because it's something I still have to this day, at my dad's house, and I'll never get rid of it. It's just, it's a very memorable moment in my life, and I hope that's what we generate and can create with the Firecracker 500. So I can't say thanks enough for you and Kurt allowing us to come in and talk about, what we're trying to do for karting, and you guys are going to be a big part of it as we continue to grow this and move forward. My dad asked me in a private conversation the other day, he said, what are your plans? Is this just you're going to do it this year and be done with it? And I said, absolutely not. I love it. I love the attention. I love the challenge that it brings. And I love being able to do more for people than what they were being done for in the past. So what I want to be able to do is generate a lot of awareness and get corporate involvement into it, and try and grow this to where, we have more than just 2 big races a year, to where maybe once a month we've got some, pretty nice touring shows coming in. Working right now with another race that would, for next year in 2013 that would bring, over 500 karts to Kansas City. So
Well, we don't have to tell anybody where it's at because everybody knows where Thunderlake Speedway is, especially if you've been to Lakeside Speedway. You know exactly where it's at off the Walcott exit, and check it out. And it's going to be great. They race every weekend out there, and especially in 2 weeks on July the 7th, the Firecracker 500. It's going to be a big event. John, thanks for coming in. Appreciate you joining us here this morning. Had a lot of fun.
Kirk and Scott, thank you again. I know it gets a little redundant saying it over and over, but for anybody interested in Thunderlake Speedway, you go to thunderlakespeedway.com, www.thunderlakespeedway.com, pull it up on the net. My telephone number is on there. Personally, call me. Ask any questions that you want. I encourage you to come out to the track. If you got a youngster that's inquiring about getting involved, please come out, watch what we do. It's a tremendous opportunity for a family to get involved. We've had some racers come that were racing the local pavement track over in Liberty, the sprint track, and they come out to the oval and so they could race against more karts. And that kid's first impression was phenomenal. And we hope to see him back tonight and wish them the best of luck.
Yeah. Final question for you. Does Barry Saturo make his way back into the factory stock division this year at Lakeside Speedway?
There may be a special that Barry puts on, dons another helmet, but I would like to try B-Mod.
A.K.A. John O'Neill Jr., by the way.
Yeah, and that was a lot of fun. We've created a lot of interest. And Jim Connolly, just to give you a little shout-out, I hope you're recovering well. Jim, I told everybody I was driving for him because he was fighting some medical issues. Jim was admitted and released from the hospital this week as they continue to try and find out what's ailing him. And Jim, you're in our thoughts and prayers, and we wish you a speedy recovery, buddy.
Yeah, and it was great to see Joan Ellis back at the racetrack last night. She'd been there for the last 3 or 4 weeks, and Clyde and Joan look to be doing well. So thinking about them here this morning. Scott, we'll see you down there tonight. Get ready. Get some sleep,
John,
man.
thanks for being in. I'm headed to the bed right now, bud. I am ready to go.
Well,
all right, thanks, guys.
All right.
Bye-bye.
For John O'Neill, thanks to all of our guests here on the program. Dan Robinson in the first hour, Kerry Davis, Alan Miller, and Brian Andrews and Trevor Hand for John O'Neill Jr. And my partner, Scott Traylor. I'm Kirk Elliott. Thanks for joining us. We'll do it again next Saturday morning here on RacinBoys.